Hello, LPC. This morning, I was invited to speak at the first observance in Bluffton of the Four Chaplains Day to honor and observe these four chaplains who, when their ship was torpedoed in World War II, gave up their life preservers so that other soldiers might survive. Observers that day from the lifeboats said that for many of them, their last image as the ship went down was of these four chaplains with linked arms, praying and singing together as the ship went down. So quite a compelling, inspiring example for all of us about what it means to love God and love neighbor above self. I was one of four clergy to represent each of these faith traditions of those four chaplains. I represented a pastor who was in the Dutch Reformed tradition. You can read more about the other chaplains, but certainly a compelling story, inspiring, leading us all to think about, how do we show love of God and neighbor? Do we do that sacrificially? What do we give up for others? Not many of us will be asked to give our lives, but we should be giving at a level that affects us, that causes us to give, relying on God to strengthen us as we do. So in this at this observance, which was at the Memorial Park, kind of tucked back there in Buckwalter in that newer development, it was sponsored by the American Legion. So as I was looking onto the crowd, which was maybe 30 people because it was cold and brisk, I still have my scarf on this morning. Many of those, as I was looking at them, are folks who have served in the military and who well understand what sacrifice is about. And so I also thought about today there's different ideas about what patriotism means. And I think for the Christian, we know that we are called to love God and love neighbor, and that those are our priorities. But of course, if we do both of those, we'll also love those around us, and we will love and want to care for our nation, so that our nation also is a beacon of light, as we've often talked about. So I think that I think there's some notions of patriotism that it's about protecting our own and those like us, that isn't inclusive, that doesn't want to then let all people know that they are loved by God and that they also should have equal freedoms and justice as we do. So I hope that as we hear the word patriotism thrown around, we will think about, what does that mean for us as Christians, and how are we living out the commands of Christ to love God and love neighbor? So hopefully today, maybe now that you've also heard the story, which I had not until I was invited to speak, but you can certainly look up more about each of the chaplains and what they did. But I hope that you, like I am, will be inspired to think about how we might emulate their kind of love of God and neighbor. Peace to you today. Bye.